check out those sweet potato slips. Those that don't know how to make slips from sweet potatoes, if you're going to grow a large amount, I hope you can see it. There we go. It's getting dark. We took sweet potatoes from last year's and we put them in. This is like a potting soil. It's mostly peat, I think. It came from some flowers that we had, and we got rid of the flowers. We got them for free, and we took the flowers out. Half of them are dead, so we took all this potting soil, weed right there, and a lot of our little sweet potatoes from last year. There's 5 pots in there. The little ones we put down in there they're about right here. I mean, they're 4 to 5 inches, at least 4 inches deep in this soil, and it literally took 2 weeks for these to pop up. Now it's been about 4 weeks. This is about 4 weeks growth, maybe 5. Some of these have just taken off. Look how long that thing right there is 2 foot long. And that's how you make slips. If you're going to grow any amount of sweet potatoes, this is how you do slips. Now these were done a couple days later with some later sweet potatoes. So they're not as big as the ones in the back, like this one and those two. These two right here were done a little bit later, about a week later. And this one's bushing out, and it's growing really good. But look at all the slips right here. One, this is probably from 1 potato, maybe 2. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's one in the back. 8. There's 8. 9 slips, and it's probably from 1 potato, but there's like 5 or 6 potatoes down in there. We just covered. So we put probably about this kind of weird line that's on this pot. We filled that with soil, and then we just lined that completely with sweet potatoes, the little small potatoes, and then filled it the rest of the way up. Like I said, this is just potting soil. This is like just a peat and perlite mix. I think there was some mums in this that we got a good deal on for free or something, because they died and we were giving them for free. And we saved the mix. Look, there's some more coming up right here. There's a bunch more coming up out of some other potatoes. I said this is probably the latest. These back here were planted earlier, and I think this was these potatoes I think were our first batch of the year. Down here in South Florida, we can get 2 batches of sweet potatoes. If we start early, if we start like in February, and 125 days later we can harvest, and we can replant right after with the vines. You go down the vines, we don't even have to make slips. When the vines, where's that long vine? When the vines come out, right there, if you can see that root right there, this is the better one. Move that leaf. Where'd it go? It had a root right there sticking out. When they crawl across the ground, there we go. See that root right there starting? When these vines crawl across the ground and you harvest the sweet potatoes, down here, we don't have to wait so long. We don't have to wait till the vines die back, flower, and start dying back in a frost and all that, because we have plenty of time. That little root right there will be a couple inches long, and it'll start rooting in the ground. So we'll cut it right here, either side, of that root when we pull the plant up. So you have, I don't know, inch, let's just say a 2-inch piece right there, and hiding under that leaf right there, you see that new growth, that new vine coming out? That's what'll grow. So after our first harvest, we can just cut these pieces off just like that, and there'll be a root right here, and that vine right there growing right next to that leaf. See, this is just a leaf. And we can replant this right here, and see, this will grow. And by the time that this plant is mature anyway, this vine will be 3 to 4 inches long. And this root, I'm missing it. Where'd it go? As far as the camera here. Focus. Focus. Right there. See that root starting to grow? That'll usually be in the ground. And we can take that and cut it off just like that. Leaf and all, you can cut this leaf off. And this, like I said, this vine will be 3 or 4 inches long. And we can replant that, and we don't have to make slips for our second batch. See, this is our first batch of the year. So there's plenty of slips in here for, we could probably plant a 1/4 acre with all the slips in here. We really overdid it. This one pot, see if I can hold the camera and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's 16 in here, and this would produce more actually. Whoops. 16 in that one. And see, like that, this one right here, this is ready to grow. This sugar's just going to take off when you pull it out, put it in the ground. 16 in that one. So there's one. There's a new one coming up right here. Say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a leaf. 8. There's a new one coming up right there. 9, 10, 11. That's one. 12. Just say there's 12 per pot. 5 times 12 be 50, 60 plants. That's more than enough for us. And there's going to be more coming up later. I mean, they're going to keep coming up. You pull these slips, those roots down there, or the potatoes down there, are going to keep throwing slips. Just like these new ones right here. I don't know if you can see them. See, there's one right there. Like I said, these been in here, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brand new ones. See, these are new. There's 2 right here. They'll just keep throwing slips. There's one right there that's fairly new. This is one of the newer pots. So, you know, they were the second batch of sweet potatoes of the year. So they weren't as old. The potatoes weren't as old as the first batch. There's an example of what I was talking about. If you're in the south, if you're south far enough to do 2 batches of sweet potatoes, you can either leave these like they are and just keep trimming them or something. You're going to have to keep trimming them. Or you can use them up, throw them away, plant your first batch, and then when your first batch is done, come in when you pull your sweet potatoes, when you harvest your sweet potatoes, cut these off. See this little roots on this vine?